Yes. Hello, Ajit Kulkarni.
Yes, yes,
Welcome for
yes.
this nice little interview. And we are very eager to know a bit more about you, your teaching, and your background. And this nice experience I heard about your teaching in Russia. So I think we Westerners would also like to have some insights and some sharing of your knowledge and your experience in homeopathy. We are always very appreciating the quality and the intensity of homeopathy in India, and we really love what is happening there. So that's why we are looking to the East.
Yes,
So
yes,
please
yes,
tell us
yes.
a bit about you and your teaching and your homeopathy.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm very glad that I'm associated with people like you, Andreas, and the colleague, and really it's a new venture.
Yeah.
It is always said that a new relationship is a new venture in life, new opening the gate of the life where you can have the vision of the life in your own way, the
Mm-hmm.
perception and the filtration coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You see that yeah, to tell you something about me, you may
Only
not,
2 minutes. Only 2 minutes.
uh,
It's difficult.
yeah, you may not believe what happened to me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I belong to a spiritual family.
Mm-hmm.
My father is a spiritual master,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to have the company of a great spiritual master to whom we used to call as Nana, Nana. He
Mm-hmm.
used to come in our home and we used to enjoy his company. At my age of 13 years,
Mm-hmm.
while I was touching his lotus feet,
Mm-hmm.
he just tell my father that Ajit is going to become a homeopath. So my father didn't know anything about homeopathy. He was a general practitioner, now 93 years of age
Oh.
at that time.
Mm.
He forgot. We have 12 standard at my age of 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to take the admission in Ayurvedic college or homeopathic college or allopathic college.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 13 marks less than admission to the allopathic college. Although I had a huge success right from my childhood. So I received 78% marks, which is not less.
Mm-hmm.
But in our Maharashtra state, because of the new government, they came out with the allopathic course, which was divided between, you see, 12th standard and new 11th standard.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get the admission. So my father decided that I must be an allopath.
I see.
So he then went to other college, and at that time, you can give some donation to the college and you can have an admission in an allopathic college.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my father, he took money and started going to a Karnataka, which is very close to my state.
Mm-hmm.
And while going to Karnataka, he wanted to stay with my guru Nana's home.
Mm-hmm.
So he went at Nana and told that I am going at Gulbarga, which is hardly 200 kilometers from his native place. Then Nana laughed and told, "You forgot. I told you that Ajit is going to become a homeopath." And then my father remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Then my spiritual guru told that Ajit should go in the college with I suggest,
With
which he suggested the college.
okay. With I
This
suggest.
college is in a remote place in Maharashtra state,
Mm-hmm.
which is almost 700 kilometers away from my city.
Mm-hmm.
So at the age of 18 years, nearly completion, I got admission.
Mm-hmm.
I was the first because no one had so much marks in the homeopathy.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the undergraduation for 4.5 years over there.
Mhm.
So it is as if this vision that I am going to become a homeopath was already received at my age of 13 years,
Mhm.
which is a striking example of the spiritual masters
Mhm.
who had the futuristic vision, which commonly we don't see.
Mhm.
Then I stood in my Maharashtra state consecutively for 4 years as a first in the rank.
Mhm.
So when I stood first in my first year of the college, I wrote to him a letter. That
Sorry?
I,
You?
stood, I wrote him a letter.
Mhm.
My guru, Nana, I wrote a letter that I stood first in the college and it is because of your blessings.
Okay.
So he wrote me that it is not my blessing, it is your sincerity and the study.
Mhm.
And I see that you will shine in homeopathy in your life.
Mhm.
So these were the words, and I have still the Marathi postcard with me, which
Mhm.
he wrote to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it is as if the destiny was after me to become a homeopath. And homeopathy also became my mission.
Mhm.
And I have been practicing since the last 34 years.
Mhm.
I visited almost 10, 11 countries, gave internationally a lot of seminars and webinars, and
Mhm.
more than 100 publications on homeopathy. And I have patients from many countries. I think this is just an initial introduction of a small homeopath like me.
Mhm.
The real introduction is what homeopathy can offer me as a student of homeopathy. It is not that what I have to offer homeopathy. If I look at this mutual consideration, I find that homeopathy has to offer you much than what you deserve. Much in terms of life, much in terms of understanding the process of the life. Because if you see health, disease, and cure, these are the building blocks of our life. We are in health, we are in disease, we are in cure. So it's a integral process which is continued till our death in this carnation. So the whole issue is that when you investigate homeopathy as a doctor,
Mhm.
when you look upon the healing process, you find that it is a two-way process. The patient giving you the history, the patient giving you something, and then your life becomes progressively mature,
Mhm.
where you have the phenomenon which goes on about patients, about the healing,
Mhm.
about what really happens. And then you also grow in a different direction.
Mhm.
This benefit of homeopathy is exclusively related to homeopathy.
Mhm.
Even Ayurveda, although it contemplates upon this,
Mhm.
and allopathy do not have that you see
Mhm.
benefit.
Yeah,
Which,
mutual. Mutual.
yeah. This vision is
Mm.
very special
Mm.
for a homeopath. You see,
Maybe psychoanalysis also has it.
yes,
Mm.
psychoanalysis, spiritual analysis of the self.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm. Yes, interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
And you live in Pune, isn't it? Pune,
Yes,
we say in Germany.
now I am at Satara, Satara, which is 100 kilometers away from Pune.
Ah.
So I often go at Pune. Every 3 days I am at Pune,
Mhm.
and Pune is a very big city. You know very well.
Mhm.
7 million people.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
have
yeah.
a
It
huge.
looks as if you have a very calm surrounding, no noises. Usually you have from these big cities.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, I have a new apartment which I took on the fourth floor. So it's
Mhm.
a very calm one. Very calm one.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that homeopathy requires really a very calm and tranquil mind to
Mm.
dwell upon, to contemplate upon, to
Mm.
think upon, to
Mm.
come to the remedy with a good analysis. It requires a years of standing efforts and a kind of the sincerity, which I think is the very fundamental prerogative of homeopathy.
Mm.
Yeah. Of course, you can have some intuition because of the knowledge, but personally, I think intuition works, but intuition is a rare phenomenon which develops, not
Mm,
a very common one.
mm, mm.
Yeah,
Could you just summarize what students who would follow this course we are now suggesting, what they would get out of it? What do you think? What will happen? Because you
yeah,
have done already a lot of these clinical trainings, which are real cases, where you don't know the outcome, which is, I think, the special thing here. So, what do you think? What happens with students? You have seen it with the Russian
yeah.
students.
See now, uh, I have not only been with such type of clinical meetings where I do a case. Uh, I developed this method in Russia, in Bulgaria, in many other countries also.
Mm-hmm.
Roman called me once for giving a seminar on body language at London, where I also took a live case and described the case. So I have been doing this uh, live case and live analysis before the people since a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best way, the interactive group discussion and uh, investigating the patient is the best way of learning in homeopathy. Well, then the training becomes, you see, person centralized.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept is you should go from case to the concept rather than from the concept to the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you go to the concept directly, then you are lost in the humanistic wide spectrum of homeopathy.
Mm.
So when you are in a case, then specific to the case, you develop some concepts, which could be big, which could be large, which could be encompassing something which you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was giving a seminar at Bulgaria, and
Mm-hmm.
while I was discussing something, I told one sentence. I'm giving you a very interesting process, how it happens to a homeopath who gives a seminar. So I told that a real homeopathic healing remedy is the one which chooses the path of the truth and allows the patient to travel towards the curative path
Mm-hmm.
where the destination is very clear.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you go to the destination of the cure because you follow the path of truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said this sentence and I was busy in describing the whole case. And then at Bulgaria, there is a very good method which is developed by the organization that someone should come at the end of the seminar and tell what is the experience throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So one lady who is a very old lady of something like more than 70 years, they came on the platform and she told that this sentence of Ajit, where he describes truth, where he describes the healing, where he describes cure as a destination, and
Mm-hmm.
real remedy must be allowing the patient to travel on the path of truth. This is a very deep sentence,
Mm-hmm.
and I think today this sentence is enough for all of us to digest. Had about this truth now, I can tell you something
Yeah.
different. I wrote an article over Anekantavad and homeopathy. Anekantavad is a manyness of truth doctrine in Jainism, in Jain philosophy.
Jane.
Buddhism, like we have a Jainism. So
Mm-hmm.
you know that Buddha and the Jain, they are offshoots of Hindu philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And the manyness of truth underscores that the truth can be understood through many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very important because although the truth is one, there are many angles of the truth which are also real.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is the whole concept. So
Yeah.
I think the Anekantavad, when we try to investigate a case with so
Mm-hmm.
many people around ourselves and trying to cast their opinions,
Mm-hmm.
we are in this process of Anekantavad so that we come to the final understanding of a case with interactive group discussion.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty of a case.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think we lost this basically because you see in this method of direct transparent training system, when the same case comes to you as a follow-up after few days or months, then you are really tested.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your philosophy is tested, your analysis is tested, your knowledge is tested at repertory level, at mathematical level. And this becomes a really, I will use the word transparent, frank, and truthful way of
Yeah,
teaching.
yeah.
Well, there is nothing like a manipulation.
Yeah, it's very appealing, and I think uh, this is important these days. Yeah,
Yeah,
to to look for the outcomes, to really see what's going on, and always question yourself, of course. Yeah,
yeah,
and I've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
your case taking, so you have a lot of questions all the way through the case. Yeah?
yeah,
So this is a good.
yeah.
Yes.
I think uh, this concept that I will give a webinar or seminar on some, you see, subject, and I can, you see, copy paste a lot of material which is available in homeopathy. This is, I think, it is a limited approach to understanding homeopathy. If it is basically through a case, and when you go from a case to the concept,
Mm.
this is a very important item of practical training in homeopathy. It understands the weaknesses in a better way. It understands the strength in a better way.
Mm.
It gives us a deep analysis. For example, I have been with this analytical process, and I found that sometimes our participants are so clever, and in such a language they give us something which we also didn't think of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mutual give and take, an exchange, which makes us rich in literature, rich
Yes,
in
you get
research.
sharpened. Yeah? Your own
Correct,
thinking gets sharpened by this.
correct,
Yes.
correct,
Mm.
correct. Yeah.
I think it's already evening. Now, what time you're finished already with clinic? Oh no, it's five. No? It's five, 6 o'clock.
My clinic work will begin now. I will go
Ah,
around
I see.
6 o'clock. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. You're doing more in the evening.
More in the evening also. I am in the clinic for 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
Morning 4 hours and evening 4 hours.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because it's in India, you see.
Yeah.
Thickly populated country with huge patients.
Yeah.
Patient,
Yeah.
big issue,
So
big issue.
how many patients you have in a day? How many?
Daily, I have something like 20 to 25 patients.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big for homeopath.
Maybe one last question because I was not aware of what school of homeopathy you are mainly following. Is there something you could say about this? It looks a little bit very broad approach you have, or you have your own.
I Basically, all schools of homeopathy, they are a part of a big school which is called as a totality.
Mhm,
Every school has its own scope and limitations,
mhm,
which are determined by the case before you, not by a physician.
mhm,
Physician just has to apply the school.
mhm,
So I say that this basic understanding that all schools do possess their scope and limitation is very important for homeopathy.
yeah.
The second issue, what I found, and I'm very interesting to give you my these feelings. You see, actually, with this school and that school, we are not touching the real essence of a case.
Mhm,
The real essence of a case is the language of the system,
mhm,
which has gone at the deviation, the derangement of the vital force.
mhm,
Then the sensations and the feelings and the emotions and the deviant energy starts expressing at the physiological and pathological level.
mhm,
So the issue is that once you understand the system in a far better way,
mhm,
with genetic milieu, with phenotypic consideration, with all the behavioral responses of an individual together with the body language,
mhm,
which is 65% according to the research, then you understand the system very well.
mhm,
My focus of the practice is going from symptoms to the system,
mhm,
going to understand the spectrum as a phenomenon.
mhm.
So I think that the phenomenon is very important. The evolution is very important so that you understand the symptoms in a better way.
Yes,
You
yes,
understand the personality structure in a better way.
yeah.
And I think with many schools, sometimes you lose the track of the totality. You focus on PQRS only. You focus on what I think is very important.
Yeah.
So I think you may be right that what you think is important,
Mhm,
but this feeling right after due perception of the totality has a more value.
Mm-hmm.
The totality is the base, is the
Mm.
expression, is the disease, is the manifestation, is the essence.
Yes. Most mistakes are made by stressing some specifics too much, yeah,
Yes,
in
correct,
relation to the
correct.
totality, and losing the whole picture. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So in acute case also, I developed 6 modules of acute prescribing to build up the totality.
Mm-hmm.
So in chronic also, if you nothing is isolated or fragmented.
Yeah.
Everything has its basis of totality as an expression
Mm-hmm.
in life. So why not in patient and homeopathy?
Mm-hmm.
So to give value to this isolated incidents or isolated symptom
Mm-hmm.
without knowing the track of it with the totality
Mm-hmm.
does make a justice to the concept of totality of Hanuman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is my concept.
Okay.
The concept is that nothing in life is isolated.
Yeah.
All isolated items, components make up the totality.
Yeah. It's all connected. Yeah.
Correct,
Mm.
correct. And nothing is without connection, nothing is without intention also.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do we know the intention? Do we know the intention of the disease as a devil?
Mm. Yes, I'm looking forward to discuss with you a lot of these things and to discover things. And I think you're also a curious person. I found out already that you always learn new things, and this is a wonder. Life is a wonder with everything. If diseases and even functioning, like Hahnemann also said, it's a wonder, and it's so interesting to investigate and
Yeah,
maybe able to help others with this. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And
Ajit,
the more you explore homeopathy, the more you find that this is a very big ocean.
never, never to end the scope of it. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you, Ajit.
yeah,
So, we'll meet soon, and we'll see. And the first case I saw with you was already successful. I saw the feedbacks from the patient. So, from the first case already, I can say this was very interesting, and it looks as if your ideas were really to the point. So, thank you very much. Yeah.
yes. I thank you very much for allowing me and to be associated with you and your colleague who is sitting across you.
Yeah, Cornelia.
And
Mhm.
we wish you the best of everything.
Thank you.
And I'm very sure that our this meeting and our responsibilities in future, which will give us much more in return, because homeopathy is the one who is always ready to give you something new and new.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, you don't want to stop to be a homeopath, huh? This not
Yes,
doesn't
correct,
happen.
correct.
Okay.